when you're looking for the best restaurants at the beach, you tend to find a lot of the same cuisine from spot to spot to spot. But today I have got Chef Marco from the Sunset Kitchen over at St. Pete Beach to show off a flavor spectrum. This guy is now going from St. Pete Beach up to Nantucket to start cooking at some resorts up there. Let's get sauced and uncensored. All right, today I get to hang out with Chef Marco. What is it that we are going to be making here? Because we've got a lot of colorful, delicious looking stuff.
So first of all, the focus is going to be these beautiful Nantucket Bay Scallops.
Thank you, Local Foods, for hooking us up with these amazing scallops.
Thank you for those. It's coming up to the end of the season, so we're utilizing these in the best way. Showcase beautiful spring colors going up into this season. So we're going to start off on this side. It's going to be this the Crudo. You got this beautiful plate right here. We're gonna start building it up a little bit. So I'm gonna lightly, I'm gonna grab these scallops and give them a nice light cure. It's gonna be a tip, not like, it's gonna be a little bit different from a ceviche. It's gonna be more Filipino style, which is gonna go called Kinilaw. It's utilizing not the citric acid from a lime juice or lemon. It's I'm utilizing cane sugar vinegar with a dash of lime juice, which is part of this salsa criolla as well. So it's two components in one, utilizing two different things.
So is this a dish that you have made before, or is this, are we your guinea pigs today?
So Moqueca is something that kind of like my go-to dishes, but this is kind of a new play on it.
Cool.
I grew up eating this dish. I'm originally my family's originally from Paraguay in South America. So this is kind of like an ode to my mother.
Okay.
And just kind of like taking in a new twist, bringing it into 2026 in like future generations.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna take these scallops, just take this vinegar and lime juice mix, kind of just give them a quick bath, probably for like about a minute or two. Nothing crazy.
This is sugar cane vinegar?
So yeah, this is gonna be lime juice and then sugar cane vinegar.
Oh.
So that's a pretty unique Filipino ingredient called Datu Puti. And it's, you find it in like relatively like Asian markets, stuff like that. It's got a sweet, unique taste to it.
Naturally a bit sweeter?
Yeah, but then the lime juice kind of cuts it. So we're just gonna let these chill over here. So now we're gonna go pretty much just like building up into the plate setup.
Beautiful.
Nice, beautiful plate. Shout out to Appliance Plug for this nice plate setup.
Man,
also this beautiful
Appliance
area.
Plug, dude. I mean, this whole set, man. Got to give a big shout out to our good friends here for building this for us. The two burners, you can customize any of this. You could put a sink in it if you wanted to, the whole setup. So thank you guys. Thank you for hosting us. We couldn't do it without them.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
All right, so a little background with this sauce right here, Moqueca sauce. It's essentially the Brazilian like chiapino. It's their Sunday stew. So all of the fishermen on the Brazilian coasts, you know, they get their weekly stock up of fish, lobster, crab, whatever. And this is like the conundrum at the end of the week, getting all that flavor soaked up in. So this right here is gonna be nice stock fortified with lobster shells, shrimp shells, and then I used the yellow edge grouper from Local Foods, the bones, roasted them off, red peppers, tomatoes, coconut milk, and then a little bit of chicken stock to get a little bit gelatinous.
Man, so how long does this take?
So this is honestly like a 4 or 5 hour sauce. Okay. So there's a lot of love in there, but you know, you really take, a little bit goes a long way, so you really taste it. There's a lot of flavors. The compounds and just the structure from A to Z really hits it in different areas.
Nice. Man.
So we're just gonna get a nice like layer down here.
So were you born in Paraguay?
No, I'm originally from Palm Beach County, Palm Beach Gardens to be specific. I've been living here in this area for probably 4 or 5 years on and off. So, you know, I've made a couple ventures here in St. Pete, worked in Tampa, but now, you know, got a couple other projects in play, so
nice.
We'll be doing that pretty soon.
Exciting. So where did the culinary introduction really start taking hold for you?
Honestly, I would say through my family. My mother was a personal chef for a very wealthy family, and my dad owned a restaurant in West Palm Beach. Kind of like modest South American food, nothing crazy. But I've just always been in the industry, and like high school, you know, it's high school. Yeah. But I just like really, I was working in a restaurant in high school, and I was just like, you know, found an identity and found myself to be like this is an industry where you could be nobody and then become somebody out of it. And I took it and ran. And,
that's awesome.
I'm 34. I think I'm, a pretty good spot for myself, and I'm excited to see where I'm going to be in the future.
That's fantastic, man. So after the high school days of getting into it, where did the evolution then take you? Was it just going to go work at more places, or how far was it before it led you to maybe culinary school or whatever you wanted to do? Did you classically trained or?
True. So I originally started off working at a pizza place in high school. Ended up working for this restaurant group called Yard House. They gave me a lot of opportunity for a young kid. Started there at 17, worked up until 23, 24. Nice. But I traveled around the country, opening up new locations for them, part of their opening team process. So that was pretty cool. I got to travel around America doing that. Then eventually I transitioned into fine dining. I think at 25 years old, and then started with Market 17 and with Lauren DeShields. That was in Fort Lauderdale. But then I eventually went to Nantucket, worked on Palm Beach Island with Chef Clay Connolly at Buchan for 5-6 years there.
Wow.
Was a sous chef for him. And then, I eventually transferred over to this area and started my own journey. And so it's been a pretty cool journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so
what we got next going on?
We got the sexy orange moqueca sauce on this plate. So now we're gonna start, maybe these little scallops. They're actually pretty nice size, so we're just gonna keep them on the plate just as is. We're not really gonna mess with them. So just neatly kind of organize these.
So from those journeys and the nicer, the finer dining stuff, did you find, where was the most impactful part of that journey? I'm sure one kitchen was more like, all right, I'm getting a lot out of it.
I would say, honestly, the time that I spent in Nantucket with Angela and Seth Rayner, working with them, and they were able to maintain 2 restaurants, the Boarding House and the Pearl, for 35 years in excellence, 5 stars, all 35 or 30 years, whatever. And, I learned a lot of consistency from them. The next would be working with Chef Clay Connolly at Buchan, James Beard nominated restaurant, 4 years in a row that I was there. I worked on the pasta station, grill. It was a live fire cooking concept.
Okay.
So it was really learned primitive style cooking, but with the utmost attention, fine dining. So I think those 2 restaurants probably were the pivotal fine dining moments in my career, that have led me to today with the type of flavor profiles and stuff that I present today. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, so don't want to overcrowd this plate too much. So we're gonna get some of these beautiful blistered cherry tomatoes. And then these were kind of marinated in kind of like a tomato water dashi kind of mixture, nothing crazy.
Is this the type of stuff that you guys would have at the restaurant you're at presently?
Yeah, so this is
on a special
this is kind of a play on a dish that we have at the restaurant. I do have the moqueca. It's served with the seared scallops and shrimp. But this is kind of like a crudo play on it, something different. I've never really would say I've done it like this, but all the flavors kind of blend in with the flavor profile of what we're going here for.
Absolutely. This looks amazing. Nice.
So this is kind of like a charred corn bean salsa, going up into straying away from Brazil a little bit. We're going to Peruvian culture. This is called a Solterito salad. So it's just basically a Peruvian succotash, to be honest. A little bit more Latin flavors than the normal succotash. Line these up there. All right, then get these beautiful scallions.
Nice.
Actually, let's do this. All right, so now we're gonna do this salsa criolla. This is going back to Peru. So this is gonna be like a quick pickle of jalapeno, green bell pepper, and then shallots, and then it's pickled in the Datu Puti, which is the cane vinegar and lime juice. So we're just gonna put a little dollop for a little crunch on these. Gonna get that, brighten it up with that acid. And then just going into spring, I mean, we don't really notice it here in Florida, but like dark weather kind of brighten up the plates, brighten up your vision, like get yourself ready for this summer that we're going into.
We've already arrived.
Yeah, we're already there.
We are there. We got to get ourselves a fancy little air-conditioned oscillating fan for behind us here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit toasty in here today, but it's going to keep getting better because we're going to keep upgrading. But being in the kitchen, being, in that realm for the last, 16 years, like what's the biggest transitions of stuff that you've seen as an industry, being in the back of the house? Like, is the way that the refinement is changing? The staff obviously is probably tweaking a little bit, but what's been some of the most noteworthy things?
I would say is definitely like the pinnacle of like the energy that's presented in the kitchen. And I think it's becoming more of a healthy thing. Stress, burnout, like working your ass off. Sorry.
No, you're good.
That's kind of what being a chef was projected as. But now, like, I think going into 2026, like speaking about emotions, being healthier, not being that burnout degenerate, like type of chef that's like, has always been. I kind of think that's exciting for the new generation because, this is not if you don't like this type of work, it's not sustainable. So it's like to really project that type of like negative, like kind of vibes onto it on top of it. It's just like was designed to burn out the chef. So it's like, I really love that, like, I don't know, whatever it clicked in somebody's mind that, hey, like, let's start going in this direction. It also speaks to like how you treat your staff. Like, if I was to treat my staff the way that I was treated, like kind of Gordon Ramsay style, like you wouldn't be getting anywhere. So it's like, finding new ways of like not only applying new techniques to food, but being a chef is being a leader. So it's like, how do I apply these to me being my like leading team? And that's eventually going to transfer into my food. And then like, whenever I own my own place, it'll be pretty spot on.
And I'm sure it minimizes like the turnover side of things. Staffing is hard enough as it is to find people that are going to be a good fit.
Oh, for sure.
Not, whether it's chasing them off and then, I don't want to say it's easy to say leading by example. It's like, all right, I got that part, but it's the communication level that we have to have, understanding the different personalities. How can we support these people to where they're going to excel instead of, the Ramsay, the screaming components into this.
For sure.
Do you have any kids?
No, not yet. I have a cat.
Having a child where it's like you learn very quickly, like managing your emotions of like, all right, if they're frustrating and they're doing something that you don't want them to do, like screaming at them isn't solving the problem.
This restaurant, Sunset Kitchen and Drinks, for the past year and a half has been my little baby, so I could totally understand that. So
well, this looks like it's ready to go.
Yeah,
already.
This is pretty much ready to go.
Beautiful. So we're doing the Nantucket Scallops because you said you've got a fun adventure that you're about to go on soon that's up in Nantucket.
Yep.
So what is that? And you've already been in Nantucket, right? You said you worked up there.
I've worked out in Nantucket probably 10 years ago. I worked with Angela and Seth Rayner at the Pearl in the boarding house. I did about 4 or 5 summers with them.
Is it predominantly summer town? Is it like a very seasonal thing up there?
Yeah, super seasonal. Population's probably 11,000 off season. Season time, we're going like probably pushing like 40, 50,000 people on the island.
Wow.
It's a cluster. But I worked out there, but I got an opportunity working for my old chef de cuisine. I'm going to be joining him at the Proprietors Bar and Table, which is one of the, pretty good restaurants on the island. So I'm pretty excited to join their team. It'll be it's a bittersweet moment coming away from Sunset Kitchen and Drinks, but it was a great opportunity stepping into that kitchen, being given the opportunity of creating a menu, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, I think for a young chef my age, like given an opportunity like that, hey, totally. I'll take it and on to the next project. I'm kind of like a nomad myself. So, it is what it is, but I like it. So I'm really excited to go on to this Nantucket journey. I'll be out there for a few months. So, if anybody's go out there, holler at me at the Proprietors. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna go into this Nantucket dish, Nantucket Bay Scallop dish, kind of showcasing we just sprung forward into spring, essentially. So we're gonna showcase all these bright colors. So we have the Nantucket Bay Scallops right here. I'm just gonna season them lightly with salt, and then we got the saute pan ready to go over in this side on a medium-high heat. So over here, like the other plate, it's a quick setup. Goes back to the extensive prep that I was talking about for the restaurant. It's my Sunset Kitchen and Drinks is chef-driven. I myself and the sous chef that I carefully chose, we do the majority of the prep. So that's where the intense focus, flavors, techniques really comes from. And then on the pickup, it's really simple, so everybody can have fast ease of service. So over here, we're gonna go. We got a beautiful red beet ginger lemon yogurt. So that's gonna be the base of our dish, kind of add that creaminess. All right, so right here is gonna be a tabouleh with fresh spring peas and quinoa, couscous, and red lentils. It's gonna be tossed in a white truffle kale vinaigrette. Ooh. And then right here is our last component, kind of our garnishes. This is gonna be a chili garlic dried cherry agridolce, kind of finish it off. And then we got the crunch right here, which is a nice pistachio dukkah. Nice. So we're going like 2 different parts around the world. Asian, Latin flavors over here. Then we're going Mediterranean, African kind of over here, a little Asian. We're gonna go on this saute pan over here. We've been having this on a medium-high heat. Got a nice little amount of oil on there. We're gonna start nice. That sound you hear, that's kind of the noise you want to hear whenever you're cooking scallops. If it's anything lower, you're essentially like boiling it. You want a nice hard sear on a scallop so you caramelize the bottom end. Get that nice Maillard reaction.
Nice. So being at the beach, doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and now you've got through a year and a half of that, so we're like, what have you seen? Because you've obviously got the seasonality of what's going on over there. So like that preparation of getting ready for the slower seasons, like right now, this is the time where everybody's, that springtime through the winter time, everybody's all right, fill up the pot of money because we're gonna have a summer coming that I know people are like, oh, it's Florida, it's always busy. It's like, yeah, the beaches is not always busy.
I think, me being new to St. Pete Beach has kind of been like a cool experience. We all know St. Pete Beach in the past couple years was booming. Couldn't even go there on weekend without having gridlock traffic.
Yeah.
Post-hurricane, the story was a little bit different, actually a lot different.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty, I thought it was a great opportunity to be part of like the rebuilding process, like, stepping into Skitters, which had its time. But we all know where that went. Going into Sunset Kitchen and Drinks was like pretty much revitalizing the area with something new. I did a lot of extensive research when I was building the menu for there, and I wanted to bring something to the area that it didn't have.
Yeah.
And I looked, there's a lot.
Plenty of grouper sandwiches.
Like, it's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of places on the beaches, like, from Sarasota up that I love going to, but I wanted to bring something that maybe a little bit from my South Florida side, bring it over here to Tampa. What nice little twists, some extra.
That's one of the most unique things you have at the beach, where it's like a lot of times there's a lot of rinsing and repeating is what it kind of feels like. Everybody's kind of got their coconut shrimp and we've got our grouper sandwich and this and that. So some of these staples, but it's like when you have somebody that steps out of the all right, let's go do something.
Yeah, for sure.
A bit unique.
Yeah,
there's a reason to go to the beach instead of just we're just gonna go hang out for the day. Like we have to go to this restaurant.
Yeah, so when I originally met the new owners of the restaurant, I started off with an outlandish sentence, and I was like, we're going to be the best restaurant on the beach. Pleasure to meet you. And, I think with the energy and focus that we're going to, we're well on our way to being that. And, I think a lot of the crazy, different foods that you see coming from our menu is a little, representation of, yes, my family's from Paraguay, but There's not many Paraguayan people. Yeah, let's face it. So, you know, I hung out with a lot of other cultures and stuff like that. So the menu is essentially like an ode to all of my friends and family that are like journeys that I've been through, and that's like all the different flavors of different cultures I've been around. Nice. So right over here, got that nice golden GBD, little golden brown delicious going on with these scallops. So yeah, they're pretty much slightly pressing off the pan. Got that nice sexy golden brown going on. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. This one's, she's gonna give it a little bit more time on her. Yeah, a little more time on her. Good. All right, we're gonna give those ones that didn't flip a little bit more time, but you know, yeah. You know, I was gonna bring some butter, but I think I forgot it. So you know, we're gonna go a little bit healthier on this route. So we're not gonna douse them in the brown butter. But these beautiful bay scallops are sweet, salty, got that little brine in them. So it's like that's not necessarily, it's an added comfort, but it's not necessary. All right, so these are getting nice golden brown, delicious. We're gonna start over here. We're gonna just let these kind of just cook up a little bit more.
So from the dishes that you have, what do you think is one of the most unique dishes or that you're most excited about that's at the restaurant right now?
All right, man, that's pretty kind of hard little thing to choose from because I think a lot of our dishes are pretty unique in itself. But honestly, so the Moqueca dish, you know, that's what the play on from that was from a little bit. So we're gonna go with that. Honestly, the Nashville hot grouper.
Okay.
That's something you don't. Sorry about that.
No, you're
it's
good.
not something you really. You know, one of my chefs that I got that recipe from was one of the original chefs for Hattie B's. So he kind of, I think he stole that recipe, but you know, so you know it's good.
Yeah.
But no, look, Drew inspiration. Let's call it that. Mm-hmm. But you know, the herb butter picanha steak is another good one. So that's a cut of meat that you normally don't see here on a lot of menus here in the United States. It's a popular Brazilian South American cut. It's a top sirloin, a culotte with a 1/4 inch fat cap on it. So it's got that flavor, but just really nice tender cut of meat that, you know, just you don't really see too often. Man, what else? What else do we got? Our tuna poke stack. That's a pretty unique one, you know. Tuna poke stack, been there, done that. But I think what ours makes ours different kind of goes to Thai flavors / with Peruvian. So we got a fish sauce, ginger vinaigrette going on.
That's like you just like the headline of that was just like Tyruvian.
Yeah.
Tyruvian tuna poke or Tyruvian poke stack. Like I can sell that, and that's, you know, one of those things in the culinary world where it's not just, and it's a hard thing because I don't think that the chef side of the world, or even, you know, the back of the house side of it, you're like creating this deliciousness and then managing the cost component side of it, where on this other little, like, I'm the opposite, not the opposite side, but on that other side where it's like, okay guys, this is delicious. I have to find a way to sell it. These scallops look amazing. I can't wait to, the ceviche one is just like screaming at us from behind us, like, please come over here and eat us.
All right, so we are gonna start these off with this nice, beautiful sauce. Again, this is like a red beet, ginger, yogurt, Greek yogurt.
Man.
Really infused, really bright color right there. So we're just gonna get this right here on the plate. Get a nice, sexy swoosh going on. All right, so yeah, we got the swoosh right there going on.
Beautiful.
Yep, and then we're gonna kind of, this is our tabouleh salad with this peas. We're gonna just revitalize this up, going up with a little bit of extra oil, hit it with some salt, and then, you know, where did I put, oh, right here, sorry. All right, then a little salt right here. All right, so now we're just gonna build it on the plate. It's gonna be a base for a sauce. So it's kind of like a nice bright play on our salmon dish. Our salmon dish gets a muhumara spread, which is a Moroccan red pepper spread similar to romesco, except it has the walnuts instead of almonds. We have a tabbouleh salad, but it just has no peas. So it's kind of play on that.
Yeah. Do you use this beet ginger and anything else, or is this?
So I do have a beet ginger vinaigrette. So this is kind of a play on that. So, yeah, sorry.
You're good.
All right, so now we're just gonna like kind of just lay these up as if it was like a nice little garden. So here we go. This is like super bright, fresh ingredients. Like you don't really feel heavy after eating this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what the focus behind my menu was over there. Just like, there's a lot of beach food. A lot of it's fried. So it's like you're going out.
Shortage of everything.
Going out with your pretty so-and-so, trying to enjoy the beach and got a big belly right after. You don't want that ever. So, all right. So now we got the scallops kind of going on there. Just chilling there. So now we're gonna get these so we got our fat component, we got our starch vegetable going on with the bright, kale vinaigrette, truffle, got our seafood, the sexy scallops right here. So we're gonna get our, so this is pretty much like that Chinese chili garlic crisp, that Lao Gan Ma sauce, but amazing. It's like my version of it, which is a Guajillo Harissa. So that's the chili component in there, and then it's a fortified with a little bit of dark cherries and then soy sauce.
I was gonna say, it looks like there's some really big chunks of something in it.
Yeah, so it's nice little like sweet, spicy, sour going on.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, so kind of just like dollop on there.
Beautiful.
I used to hate scallops, to be honest. I used to hate a lot of food up until I became a chef, and then I started cooking it. I myself, my family used to go to Bar Harbor, Maine all the time. My mom was a chef out there. I was surrounded by the best seafood that money can offer, and I did not eat it. I was a fish sticks and mac and cheese kid, to be honest. Man. Like, it was bad. But then once I started working and cooking scallops, I think I was working at Yard House, and I was just like, man, I've missed out. I'm like, this is some good food. So this is like one of my favorite seafood dishes, to be honest, other than like American red snapper. But that's a different story. So yeah, and then doing the Nantucket Bay Scallop, doing a little ode to my journey of where I've been, where I'm going, and
nice.
Doing a little rendition of a plate from the restaurant.
So all the places that you've either been or worked, where's your this is a restaurant that I have to go to anytime I'm in town?
Probably Bukan in Palm Beach Island.
Okay.
They have the izakaya right next door, which is Emoto, which I was a part of as well. So just having that kind of repertoire going back there and just being like, hey, Marcos, it's a pretty good feeling. I would say, honestly, that's kind of my favorite spot to go to, like out of the places I've worked at. If I had the opportunity to hang out with some other chefs that I worked with before, honestly, Chef Lauren DeShields, she was pretty badass. She worked in San Francisco under I think Ming Tsai, so she taught me a lot of that Asian influence there. So we're almost done here. I'm just gonna clean up the plate a little bit, and then we're gonna add this last component, which is gonna be this pistachio dukkah. Comes from the Egyptian, Moroccan area. Lebanese. So this is going to be our final component. Nice little green, spicy, earthy crunchiness to kind of finish it off. And then our sheet blows. That's it.
Goes, man. We're going to get digging into this stuff here.
Yeah, so we're eating good today.
Boom.
All right.
So we have got to dig into this guy. It's been calling our names, so let's get into that. But from the have you gone back and just gone to hang out in Paraguay?
So I went once in 2019 to go visit my parents and kind of go for the first time in my life. Yeah, that's good, right?
Man.
Hits a lot of flavors. So it was a pretty cool experience kind of seeing my culture, seeing people that look like my parents and myself.
Nice.
But, oh yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes I try the food that I make and I'm like, oh wow, I made that. Wow, it's like I should be a chef.
You got that little sweetness with that cane vinegar.
Yep.
Boy, like I'm trying to think like what else does that I would say like go well with? I'm not I'm just an eater.
Yeah, so Filipino dish, they have a dish called Kinilaw, which is essentially like their version of ceviche, but they do tuna, like ahi tuna instead. So it's a cool word play on that. And they use it with a lot of papaya.
Oh, papaya, okay.
Yeah, so the vinegar contrast with the sweetness of the papaya pretty works well.
Dude, fantastic.
Awesome.
So we've got to do a little cheers and shout out to our friends from Floridays.
Yep.
Thank you for supporting the show.
Thank you for Local Foods also hooking it up.
Oh man, Local Foods hooking it up with all of the scallops and all of the amazing ingredients for all of our shows. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But you've got a fun evolution coming, man. I mean, the Nantucket project going on, gonna make some cash and everything out there. Then is there, doing something in Paraguay, coming back to this area, going back to like, is there a region you're like, I want to get to this place, or
honestly,
you got so much not settling down?
Yeah.
But, what's that like?
I think, I'll be pretty much an open book after this journey. Coming back to work with Sunset Kitchen and Drinks could be an opportunity, but there's been other hands in play that have been offers, and some of those are pretty exciting. So honestly, coming back to this area is a plan of mine.
Cool.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm an open book, and if I get thrown out an offer for some cool chef that I met in Nantucket, who knows? But just like I said, I'm a nomad. I love culinary and I love the journey that it's taken me. So, I don't know, just like I'm always somewhere.
One of the coolest things, so I mean, travel nursing has been a thing for a long time. But I met a guy a couple of years ago, and he does just travel bartending.
Yeah.
And there's not a placement agency as though there is for the nursing side, but he just knows those, like, all right, this is Nantucket season, this is, Vail ski season,
Yep,
these are those different, cool, I'm gonna go hang out there for 3 months, make some money, come back here and hang out, like the same way you would on travel nursing, where I'm just like, dude, that's awesome, because it just, you're exploring, meeting cool people, doing different things, making a much, I think a lot more money. If you're here in the summertime, you might not be killing it.
That's nice. But yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. I have considered maybe doing Aspen or something like that during the winter. Who knows? But for right now, my intention is to come back to either St. Pete or Tampa. So just I fell in love with this area, so I don't really like I said, unless I get some kind of Hail Mary cool offer, I think I'm pretty much going to plant my roots here. Kind of got some good traction with my name, everything. So it's why just go somewhere else?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're building the resume. Grab your fork here. We're going to try the other amazing looking dish. So being here for the last year and a half, where are some of your happiest places to go? Where are the staples that you've been like, all right, I love going to this place? What side of town do you live on?
I live in Gulfport.
Dude, I love Gulfport.
Yeah, Gulfport's nice. Honestly, on my days off, I'm a big fan of going to Wild Child. That's kind of my favorite spots in the area. And then I kind of just go for kind of the small hole in the walls, a lot of the Vietnamese food in Pinellas Park and Laos food up there.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Chile Verde with their tacos and stuff like that. I try to keep it modest, but recently I've just kind of been enjoying the sunshine. It's not going to be cold in Nantucket.
Man. Everything's delicious, but this.
Yeah,
this feels like a yogurtness that you should just all right, I can eat that as its own snack and be like, all right, I did something healthy today.
Oh yeah.
And I ate something amazing.
So yeah, just like this, maybe with a little pita bread on the side. Oh, excellent touch. Yeah. Oh, this is great.
Man. Wow.
Yeah. Kind of mapped all these flavors in my head, but putting it on plate, I was like, oh man.
Oh, I didn't really get too much of this spiciness over here. I want to get some of that guy.
Oh yeah.
Get a little bit.
Oh wow. Hell yeah. Yeah. Now we're gonna feed the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Boy, oh boy. So good here. Any place else that you ventured out? So I love Gulfport's awesome, and then my buddy has opened up Storm Runners.
Yeah.
The day before the storm, 2 years ago. So that was dumpster fire journey. I mean, literally, you're open for one for like 24 hours, and then we have a hurricane and 6 feet of water. And we had Eddie's that just opened this past week that had taken over some stuff. And, Pia's, Gulfport, Dunedin, Safety Harbor, Tarpon, these little pockets, Paso Grill, these little tiny waterfront communities, they're definitely not secrets of any kind, but it's like those are the gems where you can still kind of find some of the,
For sure.
low-key spots. I mean, probably not get a cheap drink, but it's like, still, man, you gotta go check them out.
Honestly, I should have done a little bit more exploring, like on these coastal areas, but like...
It's a bit of an older population.
Yeah, but it's like, like...
You're not hanging out at the Tuesday market,
Yeah, I know. But it's like, I'm from Juno Beach area in South Florida, so it's like, that's kind of like, I would say kind of the same older community. I think now it's like, gentrifying in a younger way, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely still got some time.
But, yeah.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Appreciate you being on Sauced and Uncensored. Hope you had a great time, got some ideas for your own cooking at home, got some insights to the hospitality world. We'll see you next time on Sauced and Uncensored. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've got our next episode right here. If you have any questions, just leave us a comment and don't forget to subscribe.